how are you changing lives in real estate? It could be through the work that you do selling properties, but there's also the charitable types of things. Today, I spoke with Tami Pardee. She's the creator of Pardee Properties in Venice, California. And she not only talks about the changes that she's able to make with AI and being part of an AI collective, but she talks about her charity, Life Change Warriors, and how she's changing lives of homeless women in her area. So enjoy the podcast and start changing lives. Tami, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Tracey.
Yeah, it's been many years, so we have a lot to catch up on.
Yes.
And I just want to start with, tell me a little bit about how your vision for your company, how it started and how, since then how it's been impacted and how your strategy has really changed over the years.
Sure. When I started in real estate, I was actually in production. I used to do entertainment production, and I was flipping houses on the side. So I would, work in production. I'd flip houses on the side, and I'd sell them. And I didn't like what real estate agents were doing. I was like, there's got to be more. There's got to be a better way. So what I did is I overlaid what I learned in the entertainment industry into real estate, because it's very similar. It's like there's a pre-production, production, and a post-production. So what I thought is they're all different jobs. So what I did is I basically took those and I structured a team, and I structured a team way before people were using teams, and I did it using that. So there's one person that takes it through, which is the listing agent, but then we have somebody that preps the house, somebody that's there during, doing the showings, and then somebody that closes it out. And that's been great. And then there's the overlay of the listing agent. So everybody has their individual specialties. And it's been really amazing because everybody has so much experience in what they're doing. So really overlaid use the entertainment industry to give me a new model in real estate, if you will.
Yeah. And so you have 3 offices now, right?
I do.
Okay.
I have 3 offices, one in the desert, Culver City, and then in Venice. Yeah.
Okay. And I know before we started recording, we were talking a little bit about the wildfires. So tell me, how has that impacted you in your sales, during and now after?
Yeah. So that was a really hard time for us in Los Angeles, for everybody impacted. It's been an intense year. So right away, like for me, because it's about my clients and the people, right? So right away, what we put together is a task force, because right away it was about people getting in houses quickly and efficiently. So we put together a 5-person task force, and what we became is matchmakers for those people. And those were really just for leases. And for us, we're not really in the leasing business, but I saw the need, and that's what people needed. So we went out, we collected, and you'd be amazed at how many second homes are in Los Angeles. You would be amazed. So it was incredible. All these people, and we worked with the LA Times helped us as well, did a big article and helped bring us in people that had second homes, and we matched them with those in need. So we had that task force going, which was incredible, to get people into housing right away that were in hotels or staying at friends' houses or anything. So we did that. We placed about 300 people in that, which was absolutely incredible. And that was a free service. We just did it. We went out to all the schools, everybody. So we did that. During that, I think the first 2 weeks, I think nobody really knew what to do. We did have a lot of, we had a lot of sales right away, though, of houses that we had currently on the market that were a little more stagnant, that sold right away. And it was interesting because they'd sell it with, I had one family that came in and she had a baby. So, and I had one family selling that had a baby, and they were like, can we buy your house? And can we buy literally everything in your house to the crib? They bought everything because my other family was moving to Tahoe. It was just beautiful. So it was a lot of almost like a matchmaking of energies and people. So the sales really escalated in February. So February is kind of a slower month in our area. Usually, and it tripled that month in sales. So, and since then, it's been a lot. The market has definitely been active. I think with the interest rates, it's been a little bit difficult. With the people that needed houses, there have been a lot of sales due to the fires of people, buying. And also a lot of people, which I love, is they have been buying small, because Palisades had very large houses.
Mhm.
And they've been buying smaller houses for the like by the beach or closer that they're kind of like in a little house with their families. And it's
Mhm.
been beautiful actually.
Are you seeing a lot of movement in the Palisades market as far as clearing out, rebuilding?
It's mixed. It's very, at first it was like everybody was going to stay and rebuild. And now there's a lot more lots on the market. I
Mhm.
think there's about 200 lots currently on the market. So a lot of people are deciding, well, they don't want to. Or a lot of people, of those
Mhm.
people had second homes and they're actually moving to their where their second homes was. So
Mhm.
it's still every week it kind of shifts. It's actually been a very a windy road, as I say, on it.
Yeah.
So I think people are really navigating and what they want to do with their lives. And people that were saying like, I want to retire, I want to move here in 10
Mhm.
years, are doing it sooner, or they're moving to a different place sooner, especially because people can work in other areas now.
Yeah, that makes
So
a lot of sense. I do want to say you're one of LA's like largest female-owned
yes,
businesses.
yes,
Congratulations on
thank
that.
you,
I know you've been
thank you.
high up in our rankings, the RealTrends verified rankings, for years now.
Yeah.
And so, tell me how you scale culture as you've grown from the very beginning.
So here's where so how I'm different from the larger brokerages is I'm a
Mhm.
boutique brokerage, but we do a lot of business, as you know. We're on track to do about 650 to 700 million this year.
Mhm.
I believe that agents, I don't want to have 500 agents. I want to have 30 agents that are
Mhm.
high producing agents where my quality control can be incredible. So we give our agents a lot of support. So we have an operations team with 5 guys on our team, that couple trucks that are always
Mhm.
like going and cleaning our houses. I mean, we want to give our agents a lot of support. They don't do their own signs. We have an entire sign
Mhm.
department. So we want to really make our agents top producing agents, every agent that works for us. And so that alone, like because we only have about 50 people at our entire company,
Mhm.
we're able to be a work family. So I think then when you scale and you have thousands of people, how does everyone know? Like, when's your
Mhm.
birthday? What's when your kid's going to college? So all of that's really important. And then we do like I just actually did this weekend. I took everyone, like my top producers, away for
Mhm.
a few days. We went to Palm Desert
Mhm.
and just have fun and just like celebrate and be together. I also intimately know all of my agents, like what's
Mhm.
going on in their life.
Yeah.
How can I help you? And
Mhm.
because everybody has things that happen in their life, and it's important to know them intimately because it's a work family, really.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. And the one thing you run as a teamerage, though, correct?
we do run
Yeah,
as a teamage. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
And the one thing I have noticed in analyzing the Real Trends rankings is that the small teams definitely do more sides per agent
yeah,
and more volume per agent.
yeah.
And I wonder if it is because of that high touch. You have a small team, high touch with them.
Yeah. I mean, we have a small team. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what would be considered a small team, I guess.
Yeah,
It's funny. It used to be considered a big team.
yeah, I know.
but we have, I don't ever want to grow, and I want everyone to feel comfortable. I think people
Yeah.
need to feel comfortable and a sense of belonging when they're at a
Mhm.
company. And that to me is more important than having, so many agents on. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And when I was doing this analysis, I was looking at 50 agents and under as a
mhm.
small team,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
I know.
Because
It's
then
so
we got the
funny because
mega.
when I started in the businesses, I said there weren't teams. Like
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
was one-off agents, and then we started this, and then it was funny. Then everyone started, getting bigger and bigger teams. But I prefer to have it under 50 agents.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. So you've worked with obviously celebrities, tech innovators, renowned architects. I know that
mhm.
you have advised developers like Frank Gehry and Marmal Radz. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing
Radziner,
this.
yeah,
Radziner. Okay.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
so tell
Ron,
me how you balance that high touch with running a high volume operation. And how do you manage? I want to do touch on private listings since you do work with a lot of celebrities and
hmm
higher profile
uh-huh.
clients.
hmm
Um, Tell me a little bit about how you service them that might be a little different from those working with, a different client.
Yeah. So a lot of people want to have a private listing because they don't want all their information out. So what we do is we work with the brokers in the area too, and we take that information out to them. We also go on TAN network as well. And then
Hmm.
we also leverage, we have 22,000 people in our database that we leverage it too. I'm also a member of YPO, which is an organization with CEOs. So I leverage that as
Hmm.
well. So, really depending on who it is and what they want is how we kind of navigate that.
Hmm.
At the end, we do know the buyers in the area. We've been doing this for a long time. So we have a very high touch with who is the buyer right
Hmm.
now. And there's a lot of times there might be a private listing, but we know who's looking at the public listings, and so we bring them over to a private listing as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what percentage do you feel like your listings are private? Because I do feel like the luxury market, especially in LA, is different.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. It really depends.
Mhm.
I'd say about 15% of them are
Okay.
private, are
Yeah.
just one-on-one. Yeah.
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 So I mean
Yeah.
that's a pretty high percentage. And I do
Yeah.
think, this whole kind of controversy over it isn't considering that there are ideal times that you want to have a listing private, or the client wants the listing, the consumer wants the listing
Yeah.
private.
Yeah.
There are instances where it makes a lot of sense, and especially in a market like yours, it
Mm.
seems to me that it does make sense.
Yeah.
If that's what the customer wants,
Yeah.
obviously.
It does. The thing that we do miss on private listings is the international. The people that are,
Hmm.
there's a lot of people that are behind the lines on their computers, people that you would never expect.
Yeah.
That when as some Zillow calls, you're like, wait, who is this?
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
or just people coming into open houses that you would
Hmm.
never expect. So you do usually end up with a little bit more money if you bring it online, but
Yeah.
there's a trade-off there. There's
Hmm.
definitely a trade-off. So,
Yeah, as long as the consumer understands that,
yeah.
it's just about being transparent.
Exactly. Transparency is important. And we talk about, we call them whisper campaigns for the
Hmm.
privates. And so we talk about that with the clients always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot, just in general in your market with the fires, with COVID, with the commission post settlement. It's been
It's
a
been
little
like,
chaotic these past 4 years or so. So as a leader, how do you stay nimble? What are some things that you do to really be forward thinking and stay nimble in these
mhm.
types of markets?
I mean, so I sit down and I have a time every morning that I strategically think. And I
Hmm.
actually spend time on my own, sitting in my rocking chair. I know it sounds silly, with my tea, and now with my AI thought partner too.
Hmm.
Um, really just thinking about things. I put everything in a bucket, and then
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, how can we do this better? What do we need to be doing? I mean, and then I have a think tank after I have my strategic thinking. I bring
Hmm.
in my, really my top four people at my company, and I say, like, these are my thoughts. What are you
Hmm.
thinking? Where am I missing things? So I think for us it's been amazing because I feel like for our company, we've been at the leading edge of so many things, but we're
Hmm.
so small. Like, we had Compass Concierge came with that whole thing.
Yeah.
They got that because one of our agents had gone to Compass and told them they had to do that. Like, this is what
Hmm.
they're doing. We had two handymen on our staff. We would go
Hmm.
basically flip people's houses before and pay for it.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, what are the pain points of the deal and how
Hmm.
can we make it better? So when Zillow came in,
Yeah.
17 years ago or something, I embraced Zillow. I was like, this
Hmm.
is amazing. All the other agents were like, oh my gosh, why would you ever want to use Zillow?
Yeah.
Same thing. So then we did the party prep. We call it party prep.
Hmm.
And then, like, with AI right now, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I am so deep in AI right now. It's incredible. So I joined an AI collective. I'm in YPO, so I get a lot of tips from when I go to to my YPO conventions, and I bring
Hmm.
them into real estate, into our brokerage. So it's been fascinating what we can do
So tell me
with
some of
that.
the applications that you're using it for.
On AI,
Yeah.
you mean?
Yeah.
So I'm using it right now. So I'm in the AI collective. So I
Hmm.
joined an AI collective. I went to Barcelona and I was at the YPO
Hmm.
Edge conference. I met Jeff Woods, who was in charge of the AI collective. So I basically been going in there, and there's 100 of us in the AI collective, and we're
Mhm.
really just learning on how best to navigate AI
Mhm.
together. Like before our call, I just got off a call with
Mhm.
a couple of people. So we're looking at it in several ways. I mean, believe it or not, we're using chat, but we're using it in a way that people are not using chat
Mhm.
GPT. We're using it as a thought partner,
Okay.
and we're really bringing in people. Like I can be on and I can say, I want 5 people. I use AI
Mhm.
to do this. I want to bring in Barbara Corcoran, Gary
Mhm.
Keller, Tom Ferry. I
Mhm.
want to bring in Brene Brown because I love her. I want to
Mhm.
bring in Michelle Obama. I
Mhm.
bring them all in to my AI and I ask them questions on how they would deal with a certain situation in real estate. So I've trained all of my agents on how to do that. And
Mhm.
it's incredible because we know what we're doing, but
Mhm.
sometimes we're stuck in a little bit of a box and we want to see the world, right? As real estate agents and brokers. And so that has been it's been mind blowing actually. And it's been really, really effective for us. And I'm really like we're kind of leading the charge on this with our agents and it's been incredible actually. So
Yeah, I never really thought of it like that. Like I use it for like just analyzing some of the data that we bring in and kind
mhm.
of getting takeaways from it or coming up with like a compelling headline, things
Yeah.
like that. But I never thought of it to actually, say, go into the mind of so and
Yeah.
so and tell me how
Yeah.
they would solve this problem. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. That's something I've not heard either from other
Yeah.
people.
So
And so
I
what is, oh, go
it's
ahead.
fun. It's fun.
Mhm,
It's just every day is like I'm like, how can AI help? Hey, how can AI
mhm,
help? Because I want to be out there with my clients. I want my agents sitting there being with who they're talking to and
yeah,
not doing the minutia. So we just got off a call with another AI company that we're, looking at bringing in AI. They call them agents, but I call them assistants
mhm,
because it gets confusing in real estate if you use
yes,
agent of how can we navigate this better and quicker for our agents so our real estate agents
mhm.
can have more time on doing what they do best.
So I've never heard of the AI Collective, so tell me what that is.
So it's a group. So it's a group of CEOs.
Mhm,
Basically, it's with Jeff Woods. He wrote the AI Driven Leader, and
mhm,
he formed a collective. And I'm in the first collective he did,
okay,
and I joined it, and I'm loving it. I'm learning so much. I mean, we have a WhatsApp. We had a meeting yesterday. We meet a couple times a month, and then I go. I just came from the conference in Austin.
okay,
So, and it's really like brainstorming on how best can we navigate this to
mhm,
help our businesses grow. And I feel like with me at Pardee Properties, I've always been on the cutting edge. We might be small, but we're nimble and we can change things on a dime and we can implement things quickly and
mhm.
efficiently. So that's what we're doing.
So is it all different industries? It's not just real estate then.
No,
It's
it's all
all different
different.
industries.
I don't
And
I I don't get a lot when I go to industry
yeah.
things. It's like I've been doing this for a long time. There's
Mhm,
nothing groundbreaking for me when I go there. So what I do is I always go to different industries
mhm,
and different conventions in case no one's seeing me, usually at the big ones.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, how can I take what they're doing
Mhm.
and implement into real estate to have a better experience for my clients?
So for this AI Collective, do they keep it small?
Yeah, it's
So
small.
you have different ones you can join.
No, I mean
Okay.
it's called the AI Collective, but they
Oh,
do
so it's
keep it. It's
just
only a
one.
hundred
Okay.
people. There's
Okay.
only a
Okay.
hundred people in this one.
I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was like, like the I think it's YPO does different chapters, right? They have
Yeah.
different. So I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was
Yeah.
something like that or it was just one. Okay. So
Yeah.
so it's just one and it's CEOs from around the country or
World.
worldwide. I don't Okay,
World.
around
It's
the world.
worldwide.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
could learn so much from that.
Yeah.
Is there one, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but is there one takeaway that you've kind of gotten that you think our audience could really learn from?
I mean, pulling in different people and really learning at AI and leveraging it. I mean, for
Mhm,
instance, there's so many different things that you can do with it, but I love the fact of pulling in who I want as a, like, I'll sit there and I'll say, I have a client, this is where like they're data driven. So
mhm,
I will bring in data driven people. And
mhm,
sometimes I'll ask AI who would be the best to pull in for this.
mhm,
And then I'll use that information to ask how to best, respond to the client. And it's not that I just give it over to AI and say that is not it
Yeah.
at all. I mean, it
Yeah.
can hallucinate. There can be major
Yes.
problems. So, but it gives me really great ideas. And I also
Hmm.
want it to be like, for us, it's like a very high touch point. So I want the connection. I want, the voice of Brene Brown, like outlining some things. I want,
Yeah.
it just depends on who it is. I mean, I
Yeah.
use all different people. Jim Collins from Good to Great.
Yeah.
I'm like, pull him
Yeah.
in. Let's pull
Yeah.
him in and talk to him for a little bit.
No, I think that's a great idea. I love that.
So,
I want to talk about your charitable giving because you have Life
yes,
Change Warriors,
life
and I
change
know
warriors.
when we
Yes.
last talked, that stuck in my head as like,
Yeah,
I love that idea. So why don't you explain to our audience what that is and how it's
sure.
evolved over the years? Because I know you said you
Sure.
kind of had to shut down during COVID and you restarted. So
Yeah.
give me the background on that and where you are today.
So basically, where we live, I live in Venice, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of homelessness is very it's tough, and
Yeah.
what I've realized is that I mean we're all people. There's
Hmm.
everyone's a person. Anyone that's out there on the streets, they were a daughter or a son or a best friend,
Hmm.
and they had a first kiss.
Yeah.
They're people, and I have the chills when I say that.
Hmm.
A lot of them just like kind of like had like ended up on the streets for a reason, for no for whatever it
Right.
is.
Hmm.
So my goal is that I want everyone to live in their best life. And so what we've done with life change warriors is we go to shelters, but it's not shelters, it's like Harvest Home, which is a home for homeless pregnant women,
Okay.
and we teach like a 16-hour course to them,
Hmm.
and we go through their past, present, and future. So we go through their lifelines,
Hmm.
and there's usually 16 people in the group, about 16 people, and this is all women, this one group obviously.
Hmm.
And we will go in and they'll tell all their stories, and it's like once everyone starts in a group telling their stories, they're like
Hmm.
everybody has a story, and then all of a sudden it's interesting because they haven't really done it in group, a lot of them, and they're like, oh wait, it happened to you, it happened to you. And for me, when I grew up, I had a lot of trauma in my background, and when I started healing myself and doing all the work, I was like, wait, I can do this because I have money to do it. Like, I'm able to
Hmm.
go to therapy. I'm able to go, to Hoffman. I'm able to go do all of these things. But these people that have no money, they're not able to even experience that. So we basically, there's about 5 or 6 things that most of these kind of self-help places do. And so we put together that for them, and we take
Hmm.
them through that process. And it's incredible because they're seen, they're like, oh, I'm not stuck here. This isn't who I
Hmm.
am. I can get to the other side. And we've had such great experiences of these women really going from homeless and actually
Hmm.
having jobs. And a lot of them, we put a lot of them in, actually it's funny, affordable housing. I have a friend
Hmm.
that does affordable housing, and they're managing their affordable housing, so they're living in the affordable housing, but they're the managers there, and they actually have the job of doing that. So to me, I've been so fortunate. I want to make
Hmm.
sure I get back. And since I'm in the housing, business and real estate, I want to make sure that the homeless aren't overlooked. And that was the best way I knew how to do it. And it's very effective. It had to, with COVID, it had to stop because we couldn't, it's not effective over Zoom. It's just not, it's in
Hmm.
person. So we're just we're revamping up. We were actually going to do it in January, and then the fires happened. So now we're revamping it. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, I just think that's so impactful,
yeah,
especially with small groups like that. And I love it.
yeah, yeah,
I can't wait to hear more about it once you've got it ramped back up again
yeah,
and they're how you're tweaking it and what you're doing with
yeah.
it.
Well,
So,
we're also actually taking them at the end of the course. They actually make a life plan, like a life board and a
okay.
life plan, and then they on the steps, and they take the steps, and it's amazing the little tweaks in life you can do, and just
Yeah.
be like have confidence and feel okay, and then you can go launch your own life. So that's why,
Yeah.
yeah, it's called
And
Life
now,
Change
was
Warrior.
that part of your trauma, your diagnosis with MS, and is
Hmm.
that what shaped you, in your career? How has that shaped you, I guess, in your
The,
career and with your charitable?
the MS.
Hmm.
When I got diagnosed with MS at 29, I was like, it really made me realize like this is like my only life, and so I want to live
Hmm.
it to my best. And so it really did, like every day it wasn't like, oh, I just I didn't want to let a day go by that
Hmm.
I wasn't doing something actively to make everyone's life better. And so That's like, I literally every single day I'm like, okay, how can I make my life better? How can I make my family's life better? How can I make my agent's life better? And how can I
Mhm.
make just people's life better? So
Yeah.
it really impacted me. But you know, it's a silver lining. Sometimes
Yeah.
those are signs, and those are when something happens to you, it's like there
Mhm.
somebody's trying to tell you something.
Yeah. It's a message for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
So I have two more questions because I know we're running short on time.
Sure.
But I want to talk, since you're out there, you're going to a lot of different meetings outside companies. Like, what are
Hmm.
some of the trends that you're seeing that could impact agents or the industry or brokers, within the next year or so?
I mean, AI. It's
Yeah.
all AI. I mean, if you're not on and I said this at a conference. I was speaking. It was funny the other day. And I was like, if you're
Mhm.
not on the bus with AI, you will be left behind. And everyone, I don't think they liked my speech. I don't think they liked that I said that. They were like, people were so upset. But the thing is that it's like Zillow. When Zillow came
Mhm.
on, I embraced it instead of like shunning it, embrace it and be
Mhm.
like, how is this going to make my life better? How am I going to be better at my job? Like,
Mhm.
what can I do? And that is, it's not replacing us. It's
Mhm.
a partner to us. We're the leaders and it's a partner. And leveraging it like that is really, really important. So, but AI, if you're not, I mean, I will say that I
Mhm.
strongly believe if you're not on that bus, you're
Yeah.
going to be left behind for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I agree. I mean, it's everywhere right now, and
yeah,
just navigating it can be difficult, but
yeah.
sometimes you just have to jump in and
Just baby steps too,
Mhm.
like I
Yeah.
started baby steps. I just talk to it all the time. And,
Yeah.
it's kind of it knows who I am. It's like Tami AI is also out there. I mean, my goal ultimately is to recreate myself as a virtual
Mhm.
person or virtual AI so that when my
Yeah.
agents have questions, they can ask my AI,
Mhm.
persona
Yeah.
before they even ask me. And we have so much information from the last 20 years that we're putting in our AI platform that it's basically knows everything that we've done. So it's incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Instead of
So
holding it
fine.
all in our minds.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't always work for
I
me.
know. It's
So
like, oh gosh.
so I wanted you to leave our audience with one piece of advice for to kind of grow a brand with impact and staying power. It could, whether you're speaking to brokers or agents, what is that one piece of advice you could leave them with?
I think adaptability, like embrace change. I think that embrace change, be curious,
Hmm.
and just kind of go with the flow. If something is flowing, like I always say red light, green light. I'm like, if
Hmm.
I go and I feel like a stop, I'm like, wait. But if there's a yellow light or a green light, I'm like, let's open it up and be curious and explore it, because then you're going to be at the cutting edge, and then things are still exciting too for you and your team, right? So
Yeah.
just keep looking at life and looking at what we're doing, and embrace it and be like, and at the core, we're helping people in one of the most
Hmm.
important decisions of their life. And that's such an honor and a gift. But our goal is to remain curious, be open, and
Hmm.
be on that cutting edge of what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tammy, thanks so much for joining Real Trending. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Tracey, thank you. It was such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good one.